Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's good morning to Grenada for today. It's Tuesday, the 16th day of July. Yeah.
Well, if I had another chance to start afresh again and live this life all over,
sing along with me.
wouldn't be the same. But since for tomorrow, there is no guarantee. I want to say thank you, Jesus, for all you've done for me. Yes, Lord. Oh, Father, thank you for another day. Oh, merciful Father, oh, please hear my prayer.
Good morning, Yulin. Mildred, good morning to you. And Shem, Betty and Court, good morning. Mary E. Banks, good morning.
Play the music. Oh, my child.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's all rejoice and be glad in it. It is a good day to have a good day.
Hear my prayer.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
So even though my life is filled with so much ups and downs, I know you got the powers to turn this thing around.
Marilyn Gilbert, good morning.
There is no miracle that my God can do. And yes, you are my savior, and I put my trust in you. Oh, Father, thank you for the breath I breathe. Oh, merciful Father, you provide my needs. Oh, Father, thank you for my daily bread.
What a way to start the day, eh?
Through your
Being thankful.
fed.
Edson Ajamu Mitchell, MBE.
Oh, my child.
Mama Ken, good morning. Moyaki, Rastiba and family.
Play it one more time.
The entire village of Mama Ken and surrounding areas, good morning. Kitty Cat, Alwyn, Ariel, good morning.
I will lift up my eyes.
Debbie, good morning to you, bro.
Come at my head.
You and the family.
My help.
The Sandersons, good morning. Nadisha, good morning. Holmesy and Abigail, good morning.
Can I say, minute or the hour?
Hey folks, it's time for us to get to the word of the day today, and that word today is deride. Deride. D-E-R-I-D-E. Yeah.
Lord, oh, Father,
As we try to get it up on, coordinated with the TV. Deride.
you give.
D-E-R-I-D-E.
Nothing more I want to do. Oh, merciful Father, than to live my life for you. Play the music.
And to deride someone as something is to subject them to usually harsh and bitter insults or criticism.
Hear my prayer. Hear my prayer. Oh, Father, I don't only want to talk the talk. Oh, merciful Father, but strive to walk the walk. Yes. Oh, Father, let me live by example. Oh, merciful Father, in
Deride, D-E-R-I-D-E.
oh, Father,
To deride someone or something is to subject them to usually harsh and bitter insults or criticism.
me. Oh, Father, I don't know just what the future holds. Oh, merciful Father, take my heart, save my soul.
Eggies and Chief, good morning. Howdy do. Monica Mayrose Williams, Daddy Godwin, good morning.
Hear my prayer, hear my prayer.
Yeah, thank you, Father, for yet another day in the land of the living. Yeah, that's the way it is. All right, so here's how we can use the word in a sentence. Although derided by classmates for his insistence that he would be a millionaire by the age of 25, he achieved this goal when his internet startup went public. That's a nice thing. Now, the only way to beat back haters or people who deride you, those who have nothing good to say and always in the criticism mode and, always trying to bring you down. Pastor Fletcher always said that. Beat them with success. Succeed at what you do. It hurts them. I always said that before. Persevere right onto the end. You fail, start over. All right? Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't expect to just come from nowhere and just succeed. Yes, it could happen, but more often than not, you've got to try and to try and to try and to try again. Eventually. And sometimes you might be surprised to know that what you consider a mistake, all right, that wasn't really what you intended to do. That is what actually makes you successful. God has a way of, of working things out, man. Trust Him, trust Him. I have been through so many things in life, yeah? And we all do. There are times when I started beating up on myself and saying, well, I am the only one these things happen to. No, when you listen to other people's stories, man, it gives you, it gives you a oomph. Yeah. Then you get to realize that, hey, but I was complaining, my story ain't so bad. You know what I'm saying? Always remember that there are folks out there whose main modus operandi is to ensure that you fail, Yeah. They're holding their breath for you to fail. Well, may they die of suffocation while they hold their breath. You understand what I'm saying? God always has a plan, But we as humans, sometimes we feel that, He taking too long. Sometimes I myself saying, boy, Papa God does take long to fix things. He fixes them in His own timing. Bernadette Robinson, good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing fine. Sharon Bartholomew, Michelle Bernard, good morning. Jillian McIntyre, good morning. Yeah. Veronica Sandy, good morning. Yep. Janet Mark, good morning to you. Hope you're doing fine. Let me see who's on our WhatsApp platform. Well, Jan is there. Good morning, Jan. How are you doing? Thanks for the information. Always abreast with what's happening. Yeah. Now, the motivational and the nutrition tip for the day, we have to forego them for a while because we're having some connectivity issues again, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. That is so true, Gordon. God always has a way of working out things good for you, yeah. The end is always good, and if it is not good, then it's not the end. Always remember that. I want to reach out and say good morning to some faithful friends out there in Barbados. Mr. Mac Dodson and your dear wife. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Yeah, you're a man. Cheese on bread, man. What's wrong with you? Good morning to all the Barbadians in the house. Good morning. Good morning to my good friend in Tantine. Good morning. I'm understanding that the folks in Williamson Road, they have a problem. We will sort it out. They're not getting us as normal. We will sort it out. Tel Joe says, good morning, my Grenadian brothers and sisters. Blessings. Yeah. Okay, we've got the motivational tip of the day. I just saw it coming up. What's going on here? Or maybe we can forego the motivational tip. You want to do that and jump straight into the nutritional tip for the day? It's up to you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Dorian, the technical man in the background, he always fixes it. Good morning to the folks in Ahoma, Tivoli. Zobi, good morning to you and the family. Matthew and Evelyn, good morning. The entire posse out there in Ahoma. Fali, good morning to you. Munich, good morning. All right, Dorian, are we getting this?
Planning and preparing your meals 2 to 3 days or even a week in advance can help to make a significant difference in cultivating a healthier diet and managing your overall health and well-being, and it can also help in saving money. Research has shown that meal planning can help people live longer lives because eating foods that are not prepared at home increases your risk of death by several factors, such as food poisoning, exposure to processed and chemical-infused foods, foods high in fats and sugars, and chronic diseases. Planning your meals can also help you to have more control over what you eat, your portion sizes, when you eat, and helps you to consume more home-cooked meals, which are always a better option to fast foods. A nutritionist or dietitian can help you to construct a meal plan or meal guide specifically tailored to your needs, which can make a huge impact on your holistic life. The Center for Disease Control says using low-fat cheese and low-fat milk, low-sodium soup packs are a great option. Additionally, choosing leaner cuts of meat or skinless turkey or chicken breast and draining excess fats while the meat is being cooked is beneficial. Use more fresh and frozen vegetables in meals and try using a non-stick cooking spray or a small amount of cooking oil for sautéing instead of a solid fat. When adding snacks to your meal plan, go for the healthier options such as low-fat and fat-free yogurt, whole grain crackers, nuts and seeds, fruits like golden apples, oranges, bananas, carrots, and cucumbers. If dining out, review the restaurant's menus beforehand to see the healthier options and make a smart decision. Always choose healthier and fresh ingredients when meal prepping. When meal prepping, remember your portion sizes. Fill half your plate with fruits and green vegetables, 1/4 with protein such as meats and beans, and the last quarter with carbs such as brown rice, pasta, or ground provision. This will help in alleviating food wastage and also controlling how much you eat. The Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminds you to look, eat, and feel well.
Minerals ring a bell? Yes, they keep the body working.
Thank you, folks. Pay particular attention to the information that is shared with you, all right? All right, Lana Fletcher, good morning. Alison Jeremiah, good morning to you. Joseph Ross, Anika Reese, good morning. Hope you all are doing fine. Good morning. Just want to know what is going on with the road cleaners for inside Independence Avenue. The road has not been clear since before the storm. Okay, all right. They'll get that sorted out, all right? Folks, this is where we take the break. We've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the weather coming up just in a matter of moments. See you on the flip side of 7.
Mark your calendars for a day of non-stop fun and laughter. The St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass, and Grenlec present All Mass 2024. It's all happening at the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 21st, starting at 3 p.m. Tickets are just $35 for adults and $15 for children 12 and under. Grab yours from any Lions and Leo members, Grenadian Optical, and Clear Vision. All Mass promises humorous antics and infectious laughter for the whole family. Be there. This advertisement sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. Am with them.
Get ready for the ultimate family fun day at PAL Kids Fest.
On July 20th at 1 p.m. at the Moulin Rouge playing field for an unforgettable day packed with excitement. And guess what? Admission is absolutely free.
Immerse yourself in a world of thrilling activities, from mini vehicles to bouncing castles, face painting, and so much more. There's something for everyone to enjoy.
And the fun doesn't stop there. We're giving away incredible prizes, including Amazon Fire Sticks and a flat screen TV. Don't miss your chance to win big. Eats and drinks on sale.
Don't miss out on the biggest event of summer. Bring the whole family and make unforgettable memories at PAL Kids Fest. See you there.
This ad is sponsored by Terry's Yacht Services.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Coming up in the news, NNP says its visionary leadership secured CCRIF payment. In the region, Trinidad police on high alert following bloody weekend. Internationally, gun stocks surge after assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And in sports, Wendy's batters urged to raise their standards. We've got the details to these and so much more after these messages.
Coming up, African emancipation celebrations build.
Good morning. With the news and details, I am Gordon Joseph. The opposition New National Party, the NNP, says it is pleased to see that Grenada's early decision to the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, the CCRIF, in 2007 is now bearing fruits, resulting in a substantial payout to aid recovery efforts following Hurricane Beryl. The NNP is led by political leader Dr. Keith Mitchell. The political party states as one of the first members of the CCRIF, Grenada's strategic participation has led to a payout of just over US $44 million, demonstrating the foresight and preparedness championed by the NNP. The NNP says in 2007, Grenada was among the first countries to join the CCRIF. It says this decision, motivated by the devastating impact of Hurricane Ivan in 2004, has proven crucial in providing financial protection against climate-related disasters. The political party adds a recent payout is testament to one of the proactive stances taken by the NNP administration to ensure Grenada's resilience in the face of disasters. The NNP is encouraging the government to leverage all the pillars of resilience previously established. Carnival fever is beginning to sweep across the mainland Grenada as the various parishes launch the festive season in the communities. The most recent celebration was held in St. Andrew on Sunday as the official launch of Carnival took place under the theme, A Cultural Representation of Our Heritage. The event in Grenville began with the energetic reveling of numerous jab-jab bands, shortney and verco performances, filling the streets with the vibrant sound of drumming and display of costumes. The lively procession showcased the rich traditions that are the hallmarks of Grenada's carnival. Following the street revelry, an official ceremony was held at the Grenville car park to declare the carnival season open. The ceremony highlighted the diverse talents of the parish with performances showcasing the vibrant tapestry of the cultures defining St. Andrew, from traditional dance routines to performances from groovy and soca artists and also calypsonians. As the carnival season progresses, other parishes are expected to host their own launch events, contributing to the island-wide celebration of Grenada's rich cultural heritage as anticipation builds for what promises to be a spectacular Carnival 2024. And just to end, just some results that just came in as it relates to the Power Soca Monarch semi-finalists. We've got Shondell Amade Dash, Kenton Ashton, Babu Buba 473, Godwin Britton, Reginald, Golden Clement, Khalifa, Alex J. Coffey, Muddy, Ryan DeRiggs, Riggy Atmosphere, Trevon Douglas, Mushman, Shamak, Duncan, Shamak, Jelani Fleming. That's Lil Jello, Arbin Shaquille Frame, Suka Shack, Kendall George Lednick, Keishon Hazard Squeezehead, Clint S. John Superflying Flint, Javon John Suka Jeff, Brendan and Teddy Christopher, Rashid K. Julian Crave, Kellon Mark Mad K, Kerry Noel Lil Kerry, Jalen Olive Boise, Shiquan Olive Shiquan, Leonie Patrick Baby L, Sherwin Paul Wacky Dunn, Andrew Phillip Hits, Curtin Roberts, Alma Boy, Marlon Sinclair Twiggy, Rio St. Paul Snaky, Clevon Whiteman Happy Boy, Kamad Williams Young Mad, Moses Williams Moses Ranks, and Dante Sylvester Playboy HTD. Those are the names that have made it to the semi-final round of the Power Soca Monarch competition. Now that concludes the local segment of news. Stay with us. The regional roundup and international developments are straight ahead. At 7 minutes onto the hour of 7 o'clock, we now join the Caribbean News Desk for this morning's edition of the Caribbean News Roundup.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning, I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
The Bahamas has taken the first step towards decriminalizing the use of marijuana in the country. The Parliament yesterday began debate on a package of laws to legalize the use of marijuana for medical and religious purposes, decriminalize the possession of small amounts, and regulate its cultivation, sale, and use. Prime Minister Philip Davis blamed the previous administrations for being hesitant to move towards what he calls the new reality and follow the example of other Caribbean countries.
Today, the wait is over. We are taking action on behalf of all of the people who simply wanted the ability to legally consume medical cannabis, and for those in their religious setting to do so, to help them with their medical conditions and to advance their religious beliefs. We are taking action for the many men and women living with criminal records for carrying small amounts of cannabis, and the many others who will be spared criminal records as a result of decriminalization.
Several OECS prime ministers are expected to visit St. Vincent and the Grenadines today for a direct assessment of the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl, especially on the islands of Mairo, Canouan, and Union Island. The prime ministers of Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia paid a similar visit to Grenada last week for a first-hand view of the damage on the sister isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett says he will also use the opportunity to continue his climate financing advocacy.
We no longer have the luxury of sitting idly by as mere observers. The time for climate action is now, and this government will intensify its efforts to build resilience and rally more decisive and impactful action from the developed countries who should bear the bulk of the responsibility for this climate crisis.
Meanwhile, the government of Dominica has announced $1 million cash donation to both Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett.
The government of Dominica will make a contribution to the affected countries in the tune of $1 million each for the countries affected. I believe that we have a duty, an obligation, both moral and ethical, to stand in solidarity with those who are affected, as it did for us on so many countless occasions in the recent past.
The There are concerns in the United States Virgin Islands that 7 years after devastation by Hurricane Irma, a number of infrastructural projects are yet to be completed. Senator Diane K. Part raised her concerns at yesterday's meeting of the Legislative Committee on Disaster Recovery, Infrastructure and Planning.
That there be an accountability of government assets, because after a natural disaster, we don't want to wait another 7 years to be waiting to get all the information because FEMA needs this, FEMA needs that. So, Director, can you tell me how you are actually working on a framework that this doesn't take 7 years to delay implementation?
Director of the Office of Disaster Recovery in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Adrienne Williams-Octolin, says her agency is improving its response based on past experiences.
We have been learning the lessons to make sure that we don't repeat the same issues that we have.
Grenada has identified a number of other areas it wants to be classified as wetlands of international importance. This announcement was made at the opening of a regional workshop on the wise use of Caribbean wetlands for climate change mitigation and conservation of the ecosystem services. The 1970 biological diversity. Mr. Lennox Andrews is Grenada's Minister of Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources.
In this regard, I specifically want to refer to the Granitan Lake and the Woburn mangrove wetlands as credible and futuristic sites that with time and education could possibly be designated as Ramsar sites.
Dutch St. Martin's Central Voting Bureau yesterday approved 9 parties to contest the August 19th parliamentary elections. In all, 116 candidates have been given the green light to contest the polls. A Central Voting Bureau official says St. Martin voters have until Wednesday to make a last-ditch effort to file any objections.
This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
And looking further afield, crypto stocks, gun stocks, and shares of other companies that could benefit from a Donald Trump presidency are up after an assassination attempt on the Republican candidate boosted expectations he would win the November elections. Trump's survival after he was shot in the air during a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday increased his already considerable lead in betting odds on Monday over United States President Joe Biden. On politics wagering website Predict, contracts of a Trump election victory traded at 68 cents on Monday, up from 60 cents on Friday, with a potential payout of $1. Contracts for a Biden victory were at 26 cents. And finally, still with Donald Trump has picked Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, a once fierce critic turned loyal ally, as his Republican running mate. Trump unveiled his pick on his Truth social media network on Monday as supporters gathered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the Republican National Convention, the RNC, an extravaganza turbocharged by the attempted assassination of the former president 2 days earlier. A venture capitalist, Vince, who is 39, graduated from Yale Law School and served in the U.S. military during the Iraq War before being elected to represent Ohio in the Senate. That concludes the regional roundup and the international news. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. Now, although admitting the series is far from over, former West Indies pacer Ian Bishop and Sri Lankan cricket legend Kumar Sangakkara say it will be a tough task for the Caribbean side to challenge England for the remainder of the Test series due to their struggles with the bat. The Windies are looking to recover from the first Test innings and 114-run loss to the hosts, which ended in just 3 days last week. The Craig Brathwaite-led side failed twice with the bat after scoring 121 and 136, with only 3 batsmen getting into double figures over the 2 innings. England bowler Gus Atkinson in his debut took a match haul of 12 wickets, while Jimmy Anderson ended his Test career with 4. The second Test bowls off on Thursday at Trent Bridge, and while Bishop says there's potential in the team, he says he's not overly confident that they can make the quick turnaround against one of the world's best teams. West Indians at home are going out of their skins because the team did not go past 150 or something in 2 innings, he said. It did not surprise me. It's very difficult to come here as a young batter, and I've always felt most West Indians who've come here in England on their first tour as batters have struggled. Mikhail Lewis, I think, looks as though he has the goods. Alec Athanaze looks as though he has the goods. As Shai Hope looked as though he had the goods with those 2 twin centuries. But how do we mature them? How do we procure them? Because the talent is there, but the burning thing we have not touched on is how do we take them from potentially good to world class? Former Sri Lanka captain and Jamaica Talawa star Sangakkara says the batsmen need to have a better understanding of their approach. This, he says, would make a significant difference. May God save them. That's the sport at this time. Stay with us. We've got the weather forecast coming right up, which will be followed by a recap of the headlines.
Coming up, African emancipation celebrations build towards the big day. Crop Over rolls towards its own colorful conclusion. One of this region's top banks continues to demonstrate the power to make a difference. Welcome to another award-winning Home Away from Home. Caribbean athletes ready for the world.
For the latest weather forecast, we now join forecaster at the Met Office of the MBIA, my very good friend, Trishy Miller. Good morning, Trisha.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you, listeners of GBN. It's a partly cloudy morning here at the airport with some light showers. Winds are from the east at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 14.8 millibars, which is above the mean, and it's rising. Present temperature 27.9 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 83%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 31.1 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 26.8 degrees Celsius. No rainfall was recorded here at the MBIA over the past 24 hours, hence the total for the month remains at 80.8 millimeters. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with light to moderate showers and a low chance of lightning and thunder. Winds east, northeasterly to east southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 31 degrees Celsius. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides will be high around midday and low about 6 p.m. Sunset this evening at 6:36. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:50. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with light to moderate showers and a low chance of lightning and thunder. From the Met Office, Trisha Miller.
Trish, before you run off, people are on edge as always.
Another tropical wave.
What's brewing on the horizons for us?
Nothing for now. It's just another tropical wave, and then we have another one coming in a few days. But so far, that's it.
So there's a current wave on us at the moment?
Yes, it's a wave, yeah. It's a wave that's giving us some showers.
Okay.
Now.
And how does Thursday look?
Thursday, let me do a quick check for you because that is sort of out of my
Okay.
Thursday we should get some showers in the morning period, but you could call back for an update on that later
definitely.
today.
Or tomorrow. All right, thank you very much, Trisha. Have yourself a great day now.
All right.
All right, folks. At 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick and Thompson Company Limited.
This is Ezra the Fun Machine, and I'm calling all revelers, carnivalists, and bacchanalists. Let me tell you, take a loan of $3,000 or more for your costume and pay only $340 per month with God's ready cash. Plus, you get to enter to win your loan back. That's right! Pay $0 down and nothing for the first 30 days. All you need is your ID, proof of address, job letter, pay slip, and 2 references. Visit your nearest Courts Already Cash location today or call.
Checking our time at 7 minutes after 7 o'clock to end the morning's newscast. A recap of the headlines. NNP says its visionary leadership secured the CCREF payment. In the region, Trinidad police on high alert following bloody weekend, and Dominica donates $1 million to Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Internationally, gun stocks surge after assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And in sports, Wendy's batters urged to raise their standards. Now that's the morning edition of news for today, Tuesday, the 16th day of July, 2024. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day, and extending the invitation to come on in. Stick and stay with us. We're with you anywhere and everywhere.
Flatlands, Park, Ship, and Print, together with Concept Events, present Pre-Day, the biggest show in Grenada's Carnival. Wednesday, August 7th, Grenada National Stadium. Gates open at 9 p.m. Showtime 10 p.m. A celebration of the Jab, featuring the Minister of Jab, the Jab Boss, Talpri. I am the Jab Boss. Certain things I end up. Also featuring guest performances by TNT's Road March King, Mikhail Tasia, Nadia Batson and Sass, Cohen Dubois, Problem Child, Lil Rick, Med Pipe and Satis, Lyrical, Wasway, Boise, Lava Man, Vaughn, Terror, The Governor, Skinny Banter, Super Flying Flip, Muddy, and Squeezehead, Temperance Dash, and a whole lot more. Also, a special surprise guest. All early bird tickets are sold out. Get your $100 regular tickets right now, and also get your VIP $600 tickets. It is the biggest event to touch down this Carnival 2024. Pre-Day.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free Hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for 1 whole year, and every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sips, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlac, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribouries, Coop Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Ezra the Fun Machine, and I'm calling all revelers, carnivalists, and bacchanalists. Let me tell you, take a loan of $3,000 or more for your costume and pay only $340 per month with God's ready cash. Plus, you get to enter to win your loan back. That's right! Pay $0 down and nothing for the first 30 days. All you need is your ID, proof of address, job letter, pay slip, and 2 references. Visit your nearest God's already cash location today or contact your Carnival band for more details. Experience Carnival 2024 with God's ready cash. We are ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Running a business is hard. Running a creative business, that's 10 times harder. The Grenada Office of Creative Affairs understands the unique challenges creative entrepreneurs face, especially when it comes to securing financing. That's why they have partnered with the Grenada Development Bank to launch the Creative and Cultural Industries Business Development Fund. Hello. Designed specifically for creative entrepreneurs like you and me. Unlock your full potential with our tailored financing options. Access loans of up to $50,000 at just 2% interest, empowering you to upgrade and expand your business. Receive business support vouchers of up to $5,000 to enhance your business plans, financial strategies, or marketing efforts. But that's not all. Nonprofits and community-based projects can secure grants of up to $25,000. So, what are you waiting for? Make the call today and learn how you can finance your dreams. Contact the Grenada Development Bank and unleash your creativity.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Welcome, viewers and listeners, to the conversation this morning. It's Tuesday, of course, the 16th day of July, and with me this morning in her capacity as my co-host. That song nice, Chrissy.
Does it really?
Yeah, that song really nice.
Does it really? I just want to see the checks, you know? Bring the checks and we could have that conversation.
Mangoes, remember we...
Mango, cherry in season right now. Up your vitamin C for the carnival season.
Lovely. Chrissy Lashington is here with us this morning in her capacity as the communication consultant at Spice Mass Corporation. You look tired.
Of course I'm tired. You can't hear it in my voice?
Yeah. What's up with you, man?
Well, you know, we just did 6 nights back to back.
Yeah, that's a lot
of prelims. So we finished off around 11 o'clock last night, but then, you know, I have to make sure the list is out, a press release is out. So, yeah, I had a few hours sleep, but I'm absolutely fine being here with you right now.
Well, I'm you know, energy is contagious. I'm Mr. Energy, so you know.
I can feel it already. I feel it already, you know.
Lovely.
Mixed with my mint tea, I feel it coming.
Lovely,
I feel it.
lovely. So the prelims, from Spice Mass Corporation's perspective, how are they?
I would say the soca prelims, both Groovy and Power, were a success.
Okay.
They both were successful. 3 days each, because, you know, we had to shift things around a bit with the hurricane. We had a delay with one series series, and we decided to merge them all together and have 6 days back to back. And people came out despite rain, because we had rain in between at the Tanteel Netball Court, and about 200 artists took part. So we saw almost 200 artists in those 6 days vying for that coveted spot in the semifinals to then potentially lead them on to the final round. And I must say, you know, the artists are all well excited, all professional, you know, really, really showed the best of what we had to offer. I love the variety that we saw on stage in terms of the topics, you know, and the styles, you know, people brought their own flavor to it. And that is something we want to see continue. And I must say as well, the standard, when you look at the semi-final list that I'll give to you in a while, you can see that the standard of our music is improving. I'm excited to see that competition in progress. But
yeah, I already have my pick. You know, I'm not going to disclose it, you know, but I already have my pick for both the groovy and the power soca. But I'm happy to hear that the quality and the standard of our artists, you know, performing the acts are improving. You know, Grenada seems in recent times just keep to be going up and up and up and up.
It's like that song for independence just took us on that trajectory, right?
Definitely. I mean, I'll be very honest. I'm an aged man, right? So I'm not into the power soca kind of stuff. I don't have that. My energy is not that, you know, directed. But I've listened to a few of them, and quite a number of them stand out to me. The groovy again. I'm really impressed with the quality of the work. In some cases, I think the musical arrangement and so forth could be better, but of course, it's a work in progress.
I believe so. It is a work in progress, and I think we as an entire nation need to think about how are we going to continuously support the industry, right? If we want to see them get better with music, with writing, with production, sound engineering, there are things we can do from the ground up to ensure that continues to happen.
Okay, but all in all, Spice Mass, we're looking at a highly competitive season.
It's stiff.
Yeah.
Competition is stiff.
All right.
For sure.
Well, I'd love to hear who the semi-finalists are for both the groovy and power.
Indeed, I can give you a rundown now. I'll give you the power because that's absolutely new, and that was just announced a few hours ago. So we have in alphabetical order from their surnames. That's, you know, from their government surnames, but I'm calling out their sobriquets, right? So we have Dash, Bubba 473, Reginald, Khalifa, Muddy, Riggy Atmosphere, Mushman, Shamak, Lil Jello, Soca Shack, Leadneck, Squeezehead, Super Flying Flint, Soca Jeff, Top Cat and Blazer, Crave, Mad K, Lil Kerry, Boise, Shaquan, Baby L, Wacky Dan, Hits, Alma Boy, Twiggy, Snakey, Happy Boy, Young Mad, Moses Ranks, and the Karakou Soca Monarch in the power category, Playboy HTD. So those are the semi-finalists who will be at Progress Park on the 26th of July. So that should be a Friday. Let me just make sure. Yeah, man, I got the dates. 26th of July. So, you know, congratulations to all those artists who made it through to the round. And also, I must say, hats off to those who took part in prelims. Even if you didn't make it to the semi-final round, you know, it's all part of the competition, and you all supported the culture, you supported yourselves, you celebrated soca music, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you back in competition again next year.
Okay. By chance, do you still have that list up with the groovy semifinalists?
For sure. I can give you a rundown of that as well. So again, it's in order by alphabetical order.
You keep smiling when you're saying that.
Because I'm always smiling.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
This is true.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So it's in that order. We have Dash, Short Pre, Chaos, Sway Jean, Terra the Governor, Young Star 473, Juice the Voice, Otis, Riggy Atmosphere, Mushman, Shamak, Soca Shack and Ari, Randy Isaac, Scholar, Jerrington, Superflying Flint, Baraka, Rooney J, Crave, K1, Blackadan, Wacky Dan, Laura Lisa, Alma Boy, Yagadan, Happy Boy, and the reigning Karakou Groovy Monarch, 2 Blacks.
Okay. We have a lot of Dans there, boy.
I know, right? We see because Wacky, we know him as Mr. Wacky. He has changed his name. He is now Wacky Dan. You're right. There's a few Dans.
Yeah, there's quite a number of Dans. Yeah. I'm happy to. I like the cast. I really like the cast, and there's a female in the mix. Well, not one. Laura Lisa and Baby L.
Yes, so we're seeing Baby L in the power category, and we're also seeing Laura Lisa, of course, in the groovy category. Yes, so we have some women, in the mix.
Representing as always.
Yes, it'd be nice to see more.
Of course, yeah.
But,
I'm not certain about that, but...
You're sorry?
Yeah, I said it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. But all in all, I think that the competitions, both groovy and power, will be very competitive. I know both Boise and Terra the Governor, they are going to be on their A games, trying to maintain that monarchy that they hold and try to gain another. So I know it's and the other guys, Dash and so forth, they will not be easing up the pressure either. So we expect keenly contested events.
We do. I mean, you could see it in the prelims, the energy some people came on stage with. You can tell they came on stage for the crown.
Right.
From since prelims.
Okay.
I mean, last night there were people running up and down, flags in the air, really showing support for the artiste. And, I have to say big up to the people who were there every single night, supporting every single artiste. Yeah. That's the type of spirit we like to see when it comes to Carnival. It's a togetherness, it's unity, it's pride, it's culture. And I have to say hats off to all of those people who supported every single night.
So now we've spoken about the fast track for the younger folks. What's happening with Calypso now?
Well, Calypso is coming up and it starts this Friday.
The preliminaries.
The preliminary round, or some people would like to say 10 judging.
Yes.
So that is taking place from Friday the 19th and going up to the 23rd. So we have a schedule of tents, 5 different tents. We're going to them at different times, and we are definitely looking forward to that. And if I can give you a rundown so you know where you need to be Friday night. This Friday is the Northwest Brigade, and that's taking place at the Happy Hill Secondary School Hard Court. So it's starts at 8 p.m. Only $20 to get on the inside. Then on Saturday, we move to Deluxe Cinema in St. Andrew for the Kaiso Bards, and 8 p.m. as well, $25. On Sunday, we're heading to Calypso Kingdom Tent at Pomrose School in St. David, and that again starts at 8 p.m. They all start at 8 p.m. and only $20 to go on the inside. Next week, Monday, the 22nd of July, is the Fireworks Calypso tent back at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville, $25 to enter. And the final night...
You saved the best for last, right?
I am going in no type of order of better or best. I think they're all on the same level.
You could have just said yes.
For you may have, superlatives you wish to use. I think all the Calypso tents are the best. Okay. And on Tuesday, the 23rd of July, you're trying to get me tied up this morning. Tuesday, the 23rd of July is the Roots Calypso tent, and this is at the Grenada Trade Center Annex, 8 p.m. and only $25 to enter. So, I know you're going to keep people updated on the schedule because it's a lot to remember. But most importantly, we start this Friday at the Northwest Brigade, Happy Hill Secondary School Hard Court.
Have you been listening Calypsos?
I have been hearing a few calypsos, especially on K105. I love that you continuously represent for calypso. And the thing with calypso, why it is very important, is that it's the social commentary aspect, right? It is a representation of what's happening in society.
What the average man can't see for himself.
I don't know, because you hear the conversations when you're on the bus, when you're just in the market, you're hearing the conversations. But I think calypsonians have a very unique way of taking those conversations and putting it in the art form. And sometimes you even hear solutions to those social issues in calypso. And that is something that I really love to hear. And I must say hats off to all the calypsonians. We're looking at about 60 artists.
Okay.
In competition.
In calypso?
Yes. We're looking at about 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I understand that they're going to select 50 semi-finalists. Is that correct?
We're looking at 50 songs.
So 25.
Yes, we're looking at 50 songs in the semi-finals.
25 artists.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
And 10 of the artists from the Independence Monarch, they have been invited to take part, and they actually have until Wednesday to declare whether they will move forward with their independence song and add another song for competition, or if they simply will just attend and support the other calypsonians.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone says, just a compliment to Miss Lashington. Miss Ordinary, Simple, Natural. That's how woman should look. Blessings to her.
Thank you so much for the compliments.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, and the semi-final for the Calypso is on Sunday the 27th?
Correct. So Groovy is the Thursday, the 25th. Power is the 26th, the Friday, and the Sunday will be the Calypso, and all taking place at the Progress Park in St. Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's home. Susan, we're coming up. Yes. Spice Mass, I know, has a multiplicity of activities and events on the way. So what else is brewing?
We have something else taking place over the weekend as well, and we can't forget our Queen contestants. They are gearing up for the pageant come Majestic Thursday, but actually this Sunday we are doing a fashion show. So you get to see all 7 contestants. They are going to be doing the Sparkle fashion show, and that is going down from 5 p.m. this Sunday at the Hideaway Rooftop in True Blue. So that's in True Blue, St. George, and tickets for this fashion show is only $100. It includes cocktails, a showtime, as well as an after-show reception. So you're able to see all the queens showcase various designers, various outfits from boutiques like Heather's Boutique. They are doing casual wear from Heather's Boutique. There's a casual line from designs from a Grenadian designer, Tanya Britton. We also have rompers by Cossil Ross, high fashion looks from Patterson, formal wear by Norms, African wear, and swimsuit as well category. So you're going to get a little tease of some of the things you may get from them come Majestic Thursday.
Wow.
But of course, we're looking forward to seeing that. And what I love about, the roster of activities that the queens have, they're getting to develop themselves. So they're getting to model, they're getting, to learn about interviewing and presenting themselves on stage and just, in life. So it's a range of personal development that they've been on. And I know after the competition, they will surely remain friends. They have been very close so far, supporting Miss Carriacou and Petit Martinique. She's come down to Grenada now, and they, all met her and greeted her because she now has to be in Grenada following the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. And you can really see the camaraderie among the ladies competing in the Queen pageant.
Over the years, that's one of the things I admire with Queen shows on a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've hosted a number of Queen shows, especially the Baines Upper Level Mother's Day Queen show in Grenville. I've hosted that for 12 years. And in the preparation for the actual event, there's a level of oneness that I've seen. So even on the night of the event, I would have to announce and say they're all queens, but due to financial constraints, we could only have one crown. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeing with the for Majestic Thursday, a few little inserts that I've seen here and there, I can see that they're really together.
They are together indeed, and we'd love to see that. I think for all competitions, where we are emerging together, we're supporting the winner because there's a reason why that person emerges as a winner. But if we can come together, I think we will do even more and better together, especially when it comes to representing ourselves on the world stage. Because Spice Mass is one element, but taking it further is something we'd like to see for all our creative entrepreneurs who are part of the carnival season.
Okay, so what else is brewing? Anything else you'd like to?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Other than you want to go get some rest, which one?
No, listen, I am pumped and ready for the day. I have my tea here. I know you have some mangoes for me.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So we're keeping it pushing. It's something that just happens with the carnival season, right? You know that sleep is something that you may sacrifice for the sake of the culture. And that's just what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I was at that stage once, but I've gone past that.
You retired from that.
Yeah, I've got to hit the bed by 7-8, or else I'm in problems.
I know.
Yes.
Well, we are getting ready for the Traditional Mass Festival come next week, and I'll give you more information about that because I'll be here next week with you. Yeah. And it's next week, Saturday, the 27th of July at St. Mark. Also over the weekend, we saw some carnival, some parish launches.
I saw some footages from Grenville, and I'm like, whoa, did I miss that?
So big up to the St. Andrew, St. John, St. Mark parishes who launched over the weekend. So they're really getting ready to pump through the season now. We have a few weeks left. Tickets are also out for all the final events of this, that we're hosting at the Spice Mass Corporation. So you can get your tickets early for Queen Show, for Panorama, for Soca Monarch, and the March Gras, all taking place at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. You can get those tickets now on gotofed.com or also by heading to the Grenadian optical stores.
There is one particular person in the diaspora that I know is itchy as it relates to coming home for carnival. Could you just make her feel even itchier?
I don't know if itchy is the term I'd like to address.
Yeah, itchy in that she's anxious, waiting to jump JetBlue.
I am not a doctor.
Nutmeg Queen, good morning.
Yeah, that's the person.
Nutmeg Queen.
Good morning to you, Nutmeg Queen. Your ticket should already be purchased, ma'am.
Well,
it is. Good. Well, she's coming.
Yeah,
she's coming. But the truth is, we're looking forward to the showcase of Carnival, that climax of our, it really exudes who we are as Grenadian people. We're celebrating emancipation. We're celebrating all our culturally related and tangible cultural heritage elements, and we're looking forward to seeing that climax on Carnival Tuesday through masquerade, through music, and we're really just pageantry as well. We're excited to see it all come together. I'm excited to see people I haven't seen in years. That always happens for Carnival. I'm excited to wave a big flag and jump on the stage and see the costumes.
Do you actually do those things?
Do I actually do those things?
Jump on stage and dance
Well, I dance on stage if I'm hired to dance on stage.
My goodness.
I mean...
How do we get that booking?
That booking needs to happen way before Carnival.
Wow. High demand. Queen says Carnival gonna be epic.
It will be epic. And you could see the energy. I think Prelims has, inserted a different energy, and we're building from here. Yeah. We're really building from here, going forward into the prelims for Calypso, then the semi-final round, the showcase of Mass come traditional. Literally every week from here on out, we will be celebrating something on a large scale as we go towards Carnival Tuesday.
Okay, well, as you say, rightfully say, from now going back, you're co-hosting with me every week, at least one day, and more information will be coming forth.
I thought you were an honest man. Why are you lying to the people?
What?
Why are you lying to the people?
What did I fib about?
I'm not co-hosting with you, sir.
Okay.
I'm not co-hosting with you, sir. I know it. I know you would like that to happen, but I'm so sorry.
You just bust my bubble there.
I I know, but sometimes we have to live with disappointment.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things in life.
Yeah, okay. And you feel happy saying that?
I am absolutely neutral in my emotion at the moment.
Okay, good. Yeah, but from as we wrap up Spice Mass Corporation, I'm certain that you're happy with the way things are flowing thus far.
I think the Spice Mass Corporation is quite pleased. Very grateful for the support that we saw through the prelims. Last night even being the biggest night on a Monday, people stayed to the very end supporting every single artist, and that is the energy we'd like to see. People are already purchasing tickets for the final event, so it means that there's an anticipation for what we're going to be seeing, the revelry that is about to ensue, and we are just so grateful to our stakeholders, the partners who are making this happen, even of course GBN, who is one of our media partners making this happen. Thank you so much for your support.
And what makes it even more noteworthy is the fact that part of the proceeds of all the activities of Spice Mass Corporation for the season will be donated to the Relief Fund to assist our brothers who are adversely affected by Beryl to the north of us, St. Patrick, St. Mark, Carriacou, Petite Martinique.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to supporting everyone through the Relief Fund by the government of Grenada. So you're coming to revel, have a good time, celebrate Grenada, but you're also supporting a worthy cause by, supporting that portion of our proceeds that go toward the people, brothers, sisters, everyone who has been affected by Hurricane Beryl, because people are still dealing with that. And the truth is, we know with hurricanes, it's not just tomorrow. We ain't solving this problem tomorrow. Even if there's millions of dollars where all houses are fixed by December, we will still be dealing with the impact. So we are doing our part as the Spice Mass Corporation to support those affected, and we're really encouraging all our stakeholders, including you listening, to do what you can. Support, whether it's through an organization, whether it's through the government of Grenada's, efforts, and everything else. All the other options to really help our brothers and sisters who are still dealing with the impact.
Okay. Well, Chrissy, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence this morning. And as always, we'll look forward to another engagement next week. Could you please give Mr. Noel and the rest of the team at Spice Mass Corporation our regards?
For sure. I'll big them up right now as well, because they're working hard.
Yeah, so.
The entire office, big up to everyone at the Spice Mass Corporation making all these events happen. And we look forward to seeing you all come Friday for the beginning of the Calypso tent judging at the Happy Hill Secondary School Hardcourt, and continuing on until next week Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Chrissy.
Thank you, sir.
Have an energized day.
All right.
Folks, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Many of us take our health and well-being seriously. We exercise, we eat right, we try hard. Sometimes we give up. But we can't give up on the health of land and the seas that sustain us. We must reduce the amount of plastic weight we generate individually. A person can generate up to 70 times their weight in waste. That's over 10,000 pounds of plastic over a lifetime. Now multiply that by the country's population. Without reuse, repurposing, or recycling, each OECS island will generate more than 1 billion pounds of plastic waste over a lifetime. This can't be our legacy. Separate plastic waste for transport to a facility that reuses, repurposes, or recycles.
Recycle OECS. Green actions, blue oceans.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, take it outside, guys.
Are you excited to see your brother?
Billy forgot his keys again.
I'll get it.
Ma'am, we're here this afternoon to inform you that Billy's been involved in a motor vehicle collision and he is since passed.
Distracted driving is a deadly decision.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. I'm joined again by another youngster. I was just telling him before we came on the set that I knew him like this, and now he's like this. Speaking of none other than Mr. Kevin Blash, he is the Chief Technical Officer at the Ministry of Infrastructure. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, sir. I'm good. And morning to all your listeners and viewers online.
All right. In the interest of time, I want us to delve straight in. You're in charge, you're the technical officer.
Right.
Chief Technical Engineer in the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Right.
We have a number of projects ongoing, but primarily I want us to touch on Carriacou and Pidimacnic first as it relates to the rebuilding process. Are you overlooking that in some way or the other?
Right. So currently we did have some engagements with multiple stakeholders, right? In the first instance, we're hoping to, help with the cleanup, because you can't really rebuild until you really, clear up a lot of the things,
You have to see where you're going.
Oh no, of course, right? Yeah. So we have a bit of collaboration going on with the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. We would have identified about 5 sites in Carriacou where we would try to separate our waste in terms of galvanized timber, green waste, things like trees, and even some things like windows, glass, that type of thing. So we're hoping to segregate it, and then eventually, solid waste that would help them to be able to maybe crush the galvanized, if we could salvage the timber, that type of thing.
Right. Okay. So it's I kept saying that early. It's so critically important that before anything else, first we do the relief to make sure people are okay in terms of their food and sanitation and so forth. But then the other primary objective is for cleanup.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then right thereafter, or should I say even now, we're trying to target critical infrastructure. So health centers, hospitals, government buildings, things like that. So just to try to get things back up and running. So for example, the Princess Royal Hospital, part of the roof was blown off, but that is the main hospital on the island in Carriacou, so we're trying to coordinate things like that. We're also trying to do some investigations and remedial work on the other health centers just to make sure that they are, up and running.
The integrity of them are up to scratch.
Yeah, and then you see the trick now is that we're so early in the hurricane season.
Scary. That's the scary part for me.
Yeah, so So that makes it a little tricky now. So something that we did, well, I've been to Carriacou twice since the storm. Something that we're trying to do is to have some infographics and some information out there for persons who looking to, re-establish their roof. What we try to do is to get some drone imagery and some up-close photographs to show, where things go wrong, where things could have been better, and to even show some of the houses that, survived because they did the things that, is stipulated in the OECS building code and, things like that, So just to give people some advice that if they do in fact try to rebuild, in case they, some persons may have the funding available to
rebuild right away.
Yeah, and what would end up happening is that, for us here in Grenada who have your roof intact, things kind of back to normal for you, right? But for persons up there who would have lost their roof, and so I was there on Friday, a lot of rain, so I could imagine the pressure that people whose roof is off and you're getting wet to just try and do something to just kind of have yourself,
sheltered a bit. I was speaking with a gentleman, he's close to Lauriston. Morning, Patrick, how are you doing? And he was like, God, I'm under tarpaulin, and when rain coming, I have to put buckets here and there and so forth. How long do you think the actual rebuilding process from a governmental standpoint, how long do you think before we actually see that happening?
So that's something that's a little difficult to gauge, and let me tell you why, right? Remember when Hurricane Ivan would have passed through Grenada, different times. It's 20 years ago, I was still in school. I won't bother to say my age for people to do some calculation.
But I would know. Yes.
So I think what is critical is, getting things like power restored to persons, because, now, for persons to rebuild their roofs properly, we kind of want to move away from nails.
Right, the screws.
The screwing, right? And then for that you need electricity to be somewhat kind of widespread, right? And when I say widespread in terms of, to be able to, drill things, that type of... and then now with all of the technology we have, people need to be able to charge their devices, and there's I think this is what probably made this particularly distressing for persons, the unavailability of these
the electricity
things.
Too, and not just the electricity, but the communication.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. It's the because people was kind of left in the dark, that kind of had them, even more finicky, so.
Mm-hmm. But in rebuilding, from your ministry's perspective, are you going to ensure that the rebuilding process up there, the folks who are doing it, they would adhere to strict guidelines from building an authority?
Oh yeah, definitely, because so we had a few officers from the Planning and Development Authority with us on the trip as well, and it's the same thing, a lot of the... So the best way to describe it is that a lot of the damage we experienced in Carriacou is because a lot of the buildings were pre-Ivan in terms of the age.
They were aged buildings.
Yeah. So and if I could recall correctly, I don't think Carriacou was as badly damaged as Grenada in Hurricane Ivan.
Yeah.
So because of that, you have buildings that might be slightly older. That was one factor. So because of that, after Ivan, most buildings here in Grenada kind of had to, be more stringent with hurricane straps, spacing the rafters, screws, pole lines, these things. But that kind of went, I don't want to say unregulated in Carriacou, but because they didn't have to replace as many roofs as here, that kind of, should I say, added to the devastation we experienced,
Right. They couldn't withstand.
Right.
Yeah, they couldn't withstand the force.
The critical thing now is for persons to, I don't know, it's not much you could tell people with the situation up there. The level of devastation is is remarkable.
I keep saying, I've been offered on a number of occasions to, said, let's go up to Carriacou so you could have a first-hand knowledge as to what's happening, so you can, but I don't think I could face it because I have so many friends in Carriacou.
And I'm going to be fair with you, the pictures don't really do it justice, right? When you're actually there and you...
Yeah.
Because remember, here you're still far removed, you're probably sitting by a fan, but when you're actually there on the ground and you really see,
it's heart-wrenching.
Yeah. So So the government is fully ready to do our part. You know, I'm sure if we reach out to, I've had just preliminary conversations with some members of the Grenada Institute of Professional Engineers. I know they're ready to do, you know, their part as well. You know, so it's a kind of all hands on deck approach moving forward. You know, based on the level of, you know, destruction in Carriacou. You know, I would say upwards of 90% of the buildings were damaged somewhere. You know.
Right.
Yeah, and who didn't lose their roof? They had some kind of impact from, you know, flying debris.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and like I said, one of the most important thing is adherence to the building code in rebuilding.
Yeah, that is the ideal thing. Now the trick is, I know a lot of people might not have the money to hire an engineer or proper architect, but if they would reach out, you know, we're happy to give some, you know, simple advice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, even, you know, PDA would give advice in terms of, okay, you know, you do this.
All right.
And this is why it's critical for us to try to get some information out there to help people, you know, to do what is necessary. And even people here in Grenada who trying to build a house or who see what happened and they're a little nervous.
Need to do it right.
Yeah.
They need to do it right because the storms are getting much more ferocious, and you have to. It's imperative that we do.
No, of course. And I'm not sure if you recall, but you remember they always used to talk about Grenada not being in the hurricane belt, right?
Yeah.
And
climate change has changed that.
Because for people who study geography and that type of thing,
we're really not.
Yeah, because how it is, I think the science actually says that it should be difficult for hurricanes to form and sustain. Yeah. But for one to form this close to the equator and to be this strong this early in the year, it's really an eye-opening thing.
It's scary. It's really scary. But again, it's not a call for people to be scared. It's being prepared.
Yeah, it's to be smart and you know, be logical. You know.
So Carriacou, just a final touch on Carriacou. In previous conversations with Pastor Stanford Simon, he was saying the rebuilding and so forth should start maybe by September, October. There, do you have that timeline in mind as well? He was just giving a personal opinion.
That could be a logical step, you know, because there is a lot of debris to clear up, right?
Okay.
You know, and to be fair, remember we just entered in the third week since the summer, so it really hasn't been a lot of time.
Yeah.
It probably feels like a lot because you see so much images, you know. So you know,
okay.
But it is a somewhat, I don't want to say daunting task, but it is.
It's calling for a big take. You know, a lot of resources have to be placed there, both human and, you know, financial resources and everything like that.
No, definitely.
I mean, I'm happy when I'm hearing about the substantial relief that we're getting from out there. We got this payoff of just over 44 million US from Seacliff. I mean, that in itself would go a long way. But in the final analysis, what is most important for people to understand is that they must do it right.
No, of course.
Or else there could be a repeat, because we've just started the hurricane season.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, there could be a repeat this year, I mean, right?
Yeah, of course. That, I mean, I try not to be the bearer of doom and gloom, but the reality is we're in July.
Yeah.
These hurricanes at this magnitude and velocity usually comes September, October.
Right.
But we're in July.
No, of course, yeah.
You know?
No, some people we have to face reality.
It is. Climate change is real. And those are some of the side effects of climate change. Now, there are other projects from your ministry's perspective that are on the way. For example, the Molyneux road project and other projects of that nature. How are things progressing with Molyneux, especially? People are concerned about Molyneux.
Right. Well, the Molyneux project is progressing quite well. In fact, the contractors would have casted the approach slab to the solution for the landslide just this week. We're hoping to, you know, have that is on the northern side. That is the Happy Hill side. Right, Happy Hill side. Right. The southern side, which is the Grand Mall side, we trying to get it up to the level where that could be cast, right? I don't want to get people overly excited, but you know, we wanted to probably have it open for emergencies or so, maybe in the coming weeks or month, right?
Okay.
But ideally, I think the project should be finished well before the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. So and this has been, I think this year makes 5 years. Yeah, it probably happened in 2019 thereabout. Yeah.
Your profession is a seismic.
So my master's is in engineering seismology.
All right.
Soil mechanics and engineering seismology. So I'm a geotechnical engineer by training.
Okay. And with that background, what would you say were the main causes of that slippage in Molineux?
I'm not sure if you ever heard of Murphy's Law, right?
Of course, anything that could go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time, yeah?
Right. So that is basically what happened in Molineux. So it just so happens that where the slide occurred is you had some softer soil in between two harder rocks. So for persons who would have visited the site when the slide happened, you could actually see the point where it literally broke across the rocks, right? That was really the soil conditions that really triggered things, right? Then you always have water and gravity.
Yeah.
That is the main ingredients for a landslide.
Yeah.
And then there was an earthquake that would have been a triggering event that kind of kicks at the
movements in the bedding plates and everything like that.
Yeah. So that is what it really was the governing cause of the incidents there,
But is that cause for some concern, because Grenada is a volcanic country?
Right.
Jenny just a little to the north of us, this underwater volcano.
Right. We had a big shake-up probably about a month ago. Right?
Yeah. So is this cause for concern as well? So really and truly, we have to be very, very thoughtful. We have the hurricanes coming, but there's also we're seeing a frequency of earthquakes now.
Right. Then you also have flooding to contend with, so it's a lot of little things. So in a sense, the design process here in Grenada it varies from place to place, So for example, you'll say, to get away from flooding, let me go up on a hill.
Yeah.
But then you go up on the hill, you have to deal with the landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you say, okay, let me stay away from the hill, let me go.
Yeah.
So it's a lot
and then you have flooding.
Yeah. So you see, the next thing too is that I don't want to pressure people in terms of the financial aspect to hire engineers and that type of thing.
But it's important.
What is important to what is critical, and this is what persons need to know, is that a bit more expense up front saves you a lot, down the line.
Down the road, yeah.
Because even if a soil test, let's say, is $1,000, right? But you're about to put a building worth $500,000. Yeah. So you won't spend $1,000 to protect
to make sure
$500,000, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you think about
the
it,
logics of it,
it's crazy.
Logics of it, yeah.
It's the same thing, So it's a lot of these little things, So something that we actually do it in the ministry, or have done in the ministry, in conjunction with, the minister, PS, who just happens to be the Prime Minister, is, we're trying to come up with a nice, coherent plan for the whole island. We have quite a few things in the works, in training already. So another place on the Western Main that we kind of trying to shift our attention is to the Mabuya landslide.
Right.
For persons who traverse that area, I could imagine how they feel, because if you drive into Setters, you bypass Molineux, and then now you have to bypass Mabuya. Yeah, so that is something that we already have some, designs that we look into, just revamp, make sure that it does solve the problem, So at least we could say we finish with that section of the road completely, because since I've been alive, ever so often we shut it down, we do some little work to get it back up and running, then you shut it down again,
Because it's like a recurring decimal.
Right.
Yeah. The condition,
Yeah, so for example, I'm hoping that at least by the time I'm finished as being CTO, there should be a whole generation of people that doesn't know that the Mabuya landslide was a problem.
Oh, okay. So you're intent on fixing that?
Yeah, we really am looking at looking at things like that. Then we work on various main roads, right? So that's on the western side. When we get up to Sauters, we have a few bridges that we looking to redesign and replace. A lot of them were damaged in the the rains in December. Luckily they stood up kind of well with Hurricane Beryl, but we were in training in terms of trying to have those replaced, right? It's about 4 or 5, Mount Fendu, Mount Rule, Maho. But people in, Maho, people from the area would know those bridges. Then we have the Sutter's Breakwater project, which is an issue. For now, we're just finalizing the environmental study, so that at least we could try to, get cracking on, sorting out the issues. So you're in the process
of doing the EIA at the moment?
Yeah. Okay. Then along the East Coast, we're working on the cliff. So essentially what we're trying to do is try to have like a harmonious link between all parts of the island, at least along the main roads, Okay.
What's about Paradise Bridge? Any consideration is being given to Paradise Bridge? The residents have been calling for some work to be done, and not just the Paradise Bridge, but other in bridges like inside the Cowpin area, Granbra area.
So here is the trick, right? So the Paradise Bridge this year, it is 200, and it was built in 1813, so that is 211 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. It's a one-lane bridge, so it's a little tricky. And we also are focused on bridges like that, right? Because, and knock on wood, that bridge is basically the only road to get past up to Sutter's on the eastern side. Right?
The connection between St. Andrew and St. Patrick. Right. And it's connectivity here anyhow, because if you come,
and then here's the next thing. So for example, if something, God forbid, like when there's an accident on the Paradise Bridge and persons have to bypass through Granbra. Well, number one, I think the Granbra Bridge now is impassable. Okay. Apart from like maybe a 4-wheel drive vehicle, like the guys who run the Cowpen, they kind of keep it up and running just so they could traverse, right? That is a road that we also looked at. So what we want to focus on, to be fair, is we probably have to do that road before we focus on Paradise. Reason being, it's like you kind of want to secure the bypass, which is something that didn't happen, let's say, for Molyneux. In the sense that when the Molyneux slide happened, people had to divert through Mount Morris. But that road wasn't really in the best of conditions, Mm-hmm. So we kind of need to have what you call redundancy in the network. So it's like if like let's say you're going from Grenville to Gov, you could pass through Belvedere or you could pass through Castine, right?
Yeah, go up Cloger.
Yeah, so you have different...
but we don't have that with Paradise Bridge.
Right, and this is something that we kind of need to develop. So for example, let's say you're going from St. George's to Grenville, you could pass the east, the west. Mm-hmm. You could pass through Granitang. Even Granitang, we're trying to do some work up there as well. So what is critical to mention is that the Ministry of Infrastructure is responsible for about 500 government buildings, and based on our estimates, maybe about 1,100 kilometers of roadway.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot to manage, but a lot of the things is so we rely a lot on the public for raising things to our attention. Okay. We're currently trying to work on some website, social media, so at least people could reach out to us a bit more easily.
So we're in good hands.
Well, we're trying our best, Another bridge we're trying to get going on very quickly too is the Marquis Bridge.
Okay.
I don't know, that's the one when you go down from Bumpy Corner.
That's that,
So that's like a little tricky. So if you notice, once we have these things that are kind of highlighted, you could kind of get a harmonious drive without any major issues, any worry, and that is critical for when you have emergencies, disasters. You don't want these things kind of holding you.
Movement is important.
Yeah, and this is why after this we focus on trying to get the roads motorable almost immediately, So we actually would have mobilized our heavy equipment operators since the Sunday.
Okay.
Ahead of the impending storm,
Because we're being prepared.
No, of course, yeah. So, we tried to clean Balthazar Bridge, and a few other kind of trouble areas that we know in Monkuma Road, So we try to stay on top of things,
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Blash, thanks for keeping us abreast with what's happening from the Ministry of Mobilization Infrastructure. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, good infrastructure and so forth, and continue doing the great work that you are doing. And as time progresses, I know that you will be back to give us some more information. Especially, people are anxious. People in the diaspora are very anxious as to know what's going on with Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Oh yeah, definitely. So once we kind of compile the information that we want to start disseminating, we reach out to the media houses and try to set up some more conversations to get the information out there.
Good seeing you again, bro.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. Give mom and dad my regards.
No, of course.
That's good. Folks, we take a quick break. I've been speaking there with Mr. Blash. He is the Chief Technical Officer in the Ministry of Infrastructure. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. No ordinary morning here with us this morning. We're still in the recovery mode from the passage of Hurricane Beryl, that dreadful lady. And I've got with me at this time Mr. Jason Phillip. He is the director of the Government Information Service this morning. He's sitting in, though, for Minister Andy Williams, who had to attend to some more urgent matters. So, good morning, sir, once again.
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning. Good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and to the wider diaspora. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Relief, as it relates to relief efforts, since we last spoke last week, or was it last week or the week before?
Yes.
I think the week before. Yeah. How has relief been going thus far?
Well, things have been moving along quite swiftly. I want to start by saying this morning in particular, the Premier of the Cayman Islands would be here on island with us, along with a delegation from the country. She will be here to contribute much needed cash. A cash contribution would be made directly to the government of Grenada, along with a substantial amounts of relief items. They would be flying in this morning at the Morris Bishop International Airport, where a ceremony of sorts would be happening. She will be received by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell. And following this handover, both the Honorable Prime Minister and the Premier will be going to St. Vincent, where they would be meeting with other heads of state from the rest of the region, along with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, where the Premier will also be making a contribution to the state of St. Vincent. So it is quite a hectic morning when it comes for receiving delegates and dignitaries from other countries. And of course, we are anticipating an excellent show here in Grenada.
I'm happy to hear this. As I was saying earlier, the disaster that passed, it really triggered some good deeds. I mean, in the news this morning, I was reading that Dominican Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, he's donating $1 million. That's EC to both Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it just shows that level of camaraderie at the heads of state as coming to one another's rescue in the time of need.
Yes, certainly so. It begs to highlight that was the purpose of CARICOM, so that we do not have to fend on our own. And we must remember that we are all brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. I'm certain that most of us, if we were to go into most of the other islands, you might see somebody that resembles you quite so. And so we are not isolated, and we are very grateful for the support that is given to us at this time by our brothers and sisters in the rest of the region. They have continued to outpour support, outpour relief, and outpour technical assistance, which is so desperately needed by us at this time. This is going to be a long haul for us, and so we cannot for any reason think that we can do it alone. And this is going to aid not just the state as an entity, but it's going to help each and every one of us as citizens of this country, so that we can actually make it through this very trying and difficult period. So from the government of Grenada, we continue to be very grateful and thankful for all the support that we continue to receive, not just from our brothers and sisters in the region, but from also the international community, and more so our diaspora. We continue to see a lot of support coming in from the diaspora, and we want to encourage that. We stand at this point in time very vulnerable, very afraid, as we are now at the start of the hurricane season, not knowing what is to come.
I was just talking with Mr. Blash, and that was one of the points that we were highlighting. It's the beginning of the hurricane season, so it started off with a bang.
Oh yes, quite a bang.
Yeah,
quite a bang.
And I was talking with yesterday. I was saying we got our storm already. We're not going to get more. God is not going to give us more this season. We get us all. I hope that's the case. case?
Well, I want to stay optimistic. However, we live in a period where we encourage prayers, we encourage persons to be prepared. However, not knowing what is around the horizon, we must always keep in mind that we are vulnerable, and so we have to be in the best state of preparedness, both physically and mentally. And so we do not want persons to put down their guard this early in the season. We want everyone to still maintain a very resilient mindset. We want anyone who requires any form of assistance, please come forward. Let us know where your vulnerabilities are, and let us see what we can do to assist. Because if we are better prepared, it means that when something do happen, that we're able to respond in a more proficient manner and very efficient manner. And so at this point in time, we're asking for everyone to please maintain a very stable and steady state of mind, because there is yet more to come. God knows we do not know what is around the bend.
A lot of emphasis has been placed on Carriacou and Petite Martinique. The folks on the north of the mainland, though, St. Patrick, how are they being dealt with?
Yes, so though there has not been a major highlight in an ongoing basis as Carriacou and Petite Martinique, but the same support that Carriacou and Petite Martinique is currently receiving, those efforts are being made to the north of the island. In particular, there are areas where individuals who are not even in the north of the island, who would have sustained significant loss, the government has moved through NADMA to also secure those individuals. In St. John's, care packages was delivered to the Honorable MP there, who would have ensured that the circulation through the system would have happened with NADMA's assistance. So we did have persons outside of that belt who did get negatively affected, and all of the services continue. In particular, I think Grenada has now reported that they are almost 100% online when it comes to electricity in the northern part of the island. Nawasa has reported that all of their systems are now functional, and water has resumed to almost 100% of their lines, which means that the customers in all areas are now being serviced, maybe not all adequately, but where the inadequacy happens for the pipeline, the trucks are there coming around to do the service. When we look in terms of telecom, the north of the island has telecommunication and access when it comes to the roads. Remember, before anyone went to Carriacou on that major surge, the surge was for the north of the island. So when it comes to the access has been restored to all of the major areas within the north of the island. When it comes to relief has penetrated the entire north of the island, and they continue to do so. It comes to telecoms never really went down. When it came to the cellular service within the north, it was the more of the landline situations where poles that would have been affected would have had some areas have a blackout. When it comes to water, as we said, the water has been almost 100% penetrated the north. So folks could rest assured that the government is not just focused on Carriacou and Petite Martinique, but the north of the island now, where the focus has now shifted is more for the infrastructural part that needs to be reinforced or replaced, as you would have heard earlier with Mr. Blanche. There is quite a substantial amount of work that needs to happen, such as the breakwater and those other things, but those are more capital intensive projects which is going to take some time. But the assessments, because of what we have now come through, heavy assessments are being done so that plans can be put in place to be able to effectively deal with those situations in the very near future.
A very burning issue now, and it's much talked about on the social media platforms, is that payment from SECRIF. Just about $44 million. That I think it's a regional insurance package.
Yes.
How are these funds being disbursed and used?
All right. So this particular situation, it goes through the Accountant General's office and is handled through the Ministry of Finance. And so, because of the nature of what it is, the priorities would be given. Well, first of all, the Ministry of Finance will have to see the priority areas that are being submitted through the Ministry of Infrastructure and the other ministries, and then government will make a decision as to how to prioritize the spending. Now, it is not for me to stand here and say that the money is going to X, Y, or Z. The reality here is that the government now has that's where all these assessments have been coming in. They need to make a priority list, and then they would allocate, based on that priority list, how to best spend those resources. Now, as the Minister of Finance had indicated, there's some that has been received. Though it is significant, it is a drop in the bucket compared to what we actually need as a means of being able to solve most of the problems that we are now inherently in. So we do not want folks to feel that the ministry or the government will not be allocating those funds in a correct manner. It's just that when you have a little bit of cocoa in a basket, you have to make sure that you can spread it as wide as possible so that all the children in the yard could get a little cocoa tea.
We need our grandparents to assist with that.
Definitely.
They were specialists in
exactly.
equity.
Very much.
Rachel from the north says, we in the north don't have service from Flow, at least some part.
Yes, well, that is to be expected. As we said, that the telecoms was not as badly affected in the mainland as it was in the Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Some of the repeater stations, which would give you that type of connectivity, did suffer damage for both Flow and Digicel. Currently, both networks are in the process of repairing and replacing systems, and this is going to take a little bit of time. So we're just asking for the public just to bear with them, be patient. We're talking about very heavy equipment. We're talking these things are positioned on top of very high mountains and hills. Yeah. So when it comes to being able to service them, and when it comes to replacing stuff, it means you have to move equipment, usually with cranes and other stuff like that, up to the top of these very sketchy places, and then do the work so that we can restore the service. So we're asking, just be patient. All entities are working feverishly. In the case of Grenlec, for example, support has come in to add to their manpower, to add to their equipment, so that they can access and do things as quickly as possible. Remember, this is only we're now going into week 2 after the hurricane, and so do not expect that some of these things, which actually took months in some cases to install initially, that we will be able to replace or repair them overnight. So just please be a little bit patient. The services are on the ground, they are working. Supplemental help is coming in from our neighbors, coming in from other countries to help augment and ensure that they can be up and running as quickly as possible. For those of you on the mainland, you do have the opportunity where you can journey to other parts of the island and use your cellular service and still have connectivity with your friends and loved ones. So in the meantime, we know it's a bit inconveniencing, but we just ask for you to just bear with it, and I'm certain that we'll be getting reports from Flow, Digicel, the electricity, and NAWASA on an ongoing basis to keep you informed.
One of the ways to calm that is to just know that it could have been a whole lot worse.
Oh, definitely. And I think for those of us who remember the effects that Hurricane Ivan had when it passed through, that there was a complete and almost total blackout of the entire mainland. There were pockets of areas where some folks who were close to those stations where you could have gotten your landline service were able to still connect to family and loved ones outside. But we were talking cellular service. I think Digicel had a few areas where you could have gotten a pocket of connectivity, but the major service went down. So it is, when it comes to disasters, it is not predictable how much damage you will get and how severe it may be, but we all have to be understanding that no one actually went and did this. This is just an act of nature, and all we can do is respond.
As the director of the government's information service, information will pass through you. In terms of going forward with the rebuilding of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and wherever rebuilding needs to be done, where were damaged during burial, and for ongoing construction purposes, how much emphasis will be placed on the adherence to proper building guidelines, codes, and everything to ensure that not that houses won't be damaged in the future, but houses and other buildings will be built in such a way that they can withstand more.
Yes, so let me just draw back to the presentation by the Honorable Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, as he touched on the fact that we have to now rebuild with resilience, and that moving forward, building codes as well as standards would have to be reviewed. Now, this is not a very simple process to do. However, we do have agencies such as the Bureau of Standards, we have the Housing Authority, and so where expertise, the Ministry of Infrastructure, where we have the engineers and all of the expertise now there, who will have to draft what would be the proposed new standards and codes. And it's not just only having standards and codes, but a mechanism for enforcement also has to be put together. So this is something that is going to take some time while we are in the process of the rebuilding phase, and I'm certain that everything will come together. It is a mammoth task. It is a very stressful and strenuous process to have to do, but we do have examples of some of these building codes that exist in other territories where I'm certain we can use as case studies for when we have to draft ours. So all in all, these things will be done according to the Prime Minister. These things will be considered in short order. However, the procedure I know has already begun. All entities who have that measure of insight and oversight for these areas have already drafting processes, and of course, when these processes have all been put together as a draft, they have to be submitted to government for government's review. Once government is satisfied that those procedures will be good for the country, then it has to now be enacted. So it means that there have to be revision of acts and laws to allow for it to have teeth and for it to bite, and to allow for the enforcement arms to be able to control and deal with persons who do not build with such within the standards that would be required.
Okay, as we aim at wrapping up, from the government's standpoint, are we satisfied, and I'm saying are we satisfied with the level of progress that we've made in terms of the relief and clearing up and foresighting into reconstruction?
Well, I would say at this point, yes. It has been a significant effort internally at the government service, especially where quite a bit of our own employees have been affected by this storm that has passed. However, at all departments, we're seeing a surge of persons giving of themselves, putting in the extra hours to ensure that the entire process works. We're seeing the constant influx of volunteers from the general public, even volunteers coming from other countries just to support the efforts that are happening. The aid workers, along with the aid agencies who have come in and continue to surge relief and technical support into our state, continues to happen. So we do want to commend the NADMA effort team. And the NADMA team,
Dr.
and
Walters and his guys.
They continue to have lots of sleepless nights. Let us just understand that this process is by no means an easy one. It is extremely technical. It is extremely tasking physically, and it requires you to have almost a 24-hour view on what's going on. So when everyone is has calmed for the evening, now that things have de-escalated a bit, the NADMA team is up at night planning the next day and the following day and what is happening the following week to ensure that you have a smooth and coherent flow of things. I just want to mention at this point some of the outstanding things that have happened over the weekend last. We have seen that there was a national cleanup campaign that happened in Carriacou and Pitimatic simultaneously. While we had folks coming in, we had support coming in from Guyana through their defense force. They came in with a whole lot of manpower, expertise to add to the rebuilding and to the cleanup efforts that is happening in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Also, the equivalent of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce in Guyana, they sent forward an entire boatload of supplies, water tanks and lumber, and I mean, you name it. so much came in, and it was delivered to the docks in Tirrell at Carriacou, where the Prime Minister and his delegation would have met the delegates there. And it is something that we all have to be very thankful for, that we are all now working as a cohesive unit. Yes, there are issues. Yes, everything is not perfect. We are certain of that. But this is a disaster. Nothing, you will never get everything right. And as things change on the ground, we are trying to shape things as it happens in real time. But all in all, I must say that we are seeing that general cohesiveness from all the suppliers, from all the persons who are supporting us locally, regionally, and internationally, along with the volunteers, along with government and its employees. There is just a massive, really well-oiled machine at this point. So I do believe that in short order, we will be seeing I would say more of the larger things happening that you will start seeing. For example, Grenlec has now restored power to some areas in Hillsborough, right? Literally, there are a few poles that have street lights that are lighting at night now. Okay. So we have to commend the efforts. We have to commend and understand that this process requires the moving and shipping of a lot of big, heavy equipment, poles, lines, all these things, and also the expertise to come in to actually use those tools and take those implements and put them in place so that we could get back to a state of normalcy. Relative to the cleanup itself, the minister did indicate that they were satisfied with the voluntary effort that persons came out and the way they surged cleaning most areas. When they entered Hillsborough in particular on Saturday morning, when they were through on Sunday evening, Hillsborough was a completely different looking environment. Okay. Quite a substantial amount of debris was removed, quite a substantial amount of trash and so was relocated to the dump, and so it means now that you can traverse almost the entire of the Hillsborough area with limited areas where you would have any kind of obstruction. This kind of push will continue, and as the ministry reallocates resources, it will then make announcement as to what further steps will be taken when it comes to further cleanup operations. Okay.
Well, just as we wrap up, Petal Duncan says, after Ivan, our power was restored 7 months later, from September to March. She's urging the public to be patient.
Yes, and we support that sentiment. The reality here is that though the areas that have been affected in terms of size and scope may be somewhat smaller than what would have happened in Ivan, we have to really take it into perspective that some of these areas are remote, some of these areas require heavy equipment, and the roads may be in a sensitive state at this point where infrastructure may be required to do some remedial work before the equipment can come in. So just be patient. The experts are on board. They are working tirelessly. I just want to shout out the Grenada Motor Club. These guys went up to Carriacou and they brought up trucks, they brought up backhoe, they brought up quite a bit of equipment and with the barge, and they really surged in and they assisted. They worked nights and day, and it is this type of community spirit that we want to encourage. We want to foster. Don't wait for someone to come and ask. Make yourself available if you can and bring forward the resource, because remember, all of us, we are all Grenadians. We own this little piece of rock here in the Caribbean Sea, and it requires us to be our neighbor's keeper. Do not walk away without giving a helping hand, and we're asking everyone, please, let's stay together. Let's focus. Let us get the job done. Let's be patient, and remember, we will be better for it. We are stronger together, and we are asking everyone to please continue to volunteer, continue to support the relief effort, continue to send in the necessary help that we require so desperately now, because we are on the front line when it comes to disaster.
Mr. Philip, thank you very much for sharing with us, and you have become my new best friend, okay, because I am in the business of giving the people the information. The information comes from you.
Thank you.
So I would love to have you back as soon as possible, keeping us abreast with what's happening with our relief and restoration efforts.
Certainly, and thank you so much for having me. I look forward to our next visit.
all the best. Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you very much.
Folks, this is where we wrap up the conversation this morning. Thank you for being a part of it. Mary E. Banks says we are thankful for all the Caribbean countries and international agencies who are assisting Grenada with its restoration after burial. Okay, Keith Mitchell is waiting for the PM to come to him. So says Rhonda. Let's leave the politics out of it. Thank you again, folks.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.